All right, let's quickly look at our roadmap. We are dividing today's session into 5 mental buckets for your notes. First, Northeast and Assam focus. Second, national economic development. Third, international geopolitics. Fourth, environment and ecology. And lastly, national sports milestones. Okay, starting off with Section 1, Northeast and Assam focus, covering governance and tech.
Let's jump right into a massive regional development. The 73rd plenary of the Northeastern Council just wrapped up in Shillong, chaired by Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Now underline Northeast Vision Plan 2047 in your notes right now. The big takeaway here is the total shift in narrative. The Home Minister emphasized that insurgency, it's taken a back seat. Peace has replaced unrest. And because of this stability, there is a huge push for our states to build infrastructure focused heavily on artificial intelligence, machine learning, and blockchain. The goal is to plug our youth directly into the global economy. This is a complete pivot from basic security concerns to cutting-edge tech.
Moving on to a brilliant social development scheme you absolutely must quote in your GS Paper 2 governance answers, PM Rahat. This is currently being actively reviewed by Golpada District Commissioner Pradeep Tamong. Here's the deal. It guarantees cashless emergency medical care up to Rs 1.5 lakh for 7 days during that critical golden hour after a road accident. This is literally a lifesaver because it completely removes the financial roadblock for emergency trauma care. It ensures both private and government hospitals treat victims right away, no questions asked about upfront payment.
And speaking of tech saving lives, check this out for your disaster management notes. The Assam State Disaster Management Authority has fully rolled out the Cell Broadcast System, or CBS. This is an indigenous emergency warning system built right here at home by CDOT and the NDMA. When a cyclone or major disaster is about to hit, authorities can instantly push geo-targeted alerts to literally every single mobile phone in that specific danger zone. It's a highly probable topic for science and tech, so remember those indigenous roots.
All right, shift your mental gears. Section 2, National Economic Development, focusing on trade and energy. Get your GS Paper 3 notes ready. You're going to want to memorize these numbers for your mains answers on global economic integration. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal just gave us a very clear timeline. In just the last 3.5 years, India has locked in 9 free trade agreements. We've already implemented pacts with Mauritius, the UAE, Australia, Oman, and the EFTA bloc. We've got the UK and New Zealand signed. And get this, the minister says 2 to 3 more FTAs are dropping in just the next 6 months. This is absolute proof of India's aggressive push to dominate global trade networks.
Now look at this massive number, 41 lakh. We just crossed the 41 lakh household milestone under the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. That's huge! New and Renewable Energy Minister Prahlad Joshi is actually targeting 75 lakh households by December. Remember, this rooftop solar scheme gives up to 300 units of free electricity per month for 1 crore households. And hey, while we're on the topic of clean energy, quickly add this to your general science notes. India's very first flex fuel car, the Maruti Suzuki Wagon R, just launched. It can run on any ethanol petrol blend from E20 all the way to E100. This is an absolute game changer for cutting carbon emissions and slashing our fuel import bills.
Let's pivot to Section 3, International Geopolitics. We're looking at Indo-Pacific dynamics for GS Paper 2. I want you to read this quote really carefully. This is Matthew Wally, the new Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands, speaking in Canberra alongside Australian PM Anthony Albanese. He's talking about that highly controversial 2022 Security Pact his predecessor signed with China. Notice his exact words. He mentions a non-disclosure clause and says he hadn't even been afforded a copy until right before his trip. He's currently reviewing this pact, while at the very same time stepping up ties and discussing a new comprehensive treaty with Australia. For your exam, this is a textbook example of the intense diplomatic tug-of-war playing out in the strategic Indo-Pacific right now. Moving right along to Section 4, Environment and Ecology. Let's look at vulnerabilities and solutions. We have a really fascinating, though concerning, case study from Guwahati on page 3 today. It's a total mixed bag. On one hand, the city's air quality index is actually getting better. It dropped to 179 in February 2026, down from 222 in 2023. That's great. But the catch? The water quality is tanking. The Pamahoe River has unfortunately just joined the Baraloo in crossing prescribed biochemical oxygen demand limits. This right here is the perfect real-world example to use when you're writing about the uneven nature of urban environmental management.
And we really have to connect these localized urban pollution struggles to the broader picture painted in today's Tribune. Northeast India has an overarching susceptibility to climate-related risks. It's not just about a bit of city smog. It is about an entire vast geographic zone standing right on the front lines of global climate change.
So jot these bullet points down exactly as they are, because this is pure gold for your mains essays. Our fragile mountain ecosystems and massive river networks make the Northeast incredibly vulnerable to flooding, erosion, and landslides. But examiners don't just want problems, they want solutions. And natural ecosystems offer the best defense we have. Our forests are literal carbon sinks. Our wetlands, they regulate water, they soften the blow of massive floods, and they keep our biodiversity alive. Protecting these isn't just a nice environmental hobby, it's our absolute core survival strategy.
Okay, heading into our final section, National Sports Milestones.
1.93 meters. Just let that sink in for a second. It might seem like just a random measurement, but today that number represents a shattered glass ceiling in Indian athletics.
This is the phenomenal story of 19-year-old Pooja Singh from Haryana. She literally just broke Sahana Kumari's 14-year-old national record by clearing 1.93 meters to win gold at the Asian Under-20 Athletics Championships in Hong Kong. And guys, her journey is unreal. She started out practicing her high jumps by landing on piles of husk sacks in her village. Just last year, she won the Asian Athletics Championships using damaged spikes that were literally patched together with tape. And now, she's qualified for the 2026 Commonwealth Games. Remember her name, the sport, and that record for your prelims fact-checking.
All right, let's wrap up today's masterclass with a challenge. I want you to tackle this synthesized mains question. How can the Northeast Vision Plan 2047 balance infrastructure growth with the region's climate-vulnerable ecosystems? Think about it. Combine your notes on the NEC's push for AI and tech infrastructure with what we just discussed about protecting those fragile mountain and wetland ecosystems. Write this answer out, build your arguments logically, and keep that study momentum going. How do we build the future without tearing down the foundation? Ponder on that. Until next time, keep analyzing, stay curious, and absolute best of luck with your prep.